make these stakeholders happy. But at the same time, it said they're going to keep hiring in AI related roles, even as they're cutting these jobs everywhere else. So the paradox of this whole thing, y'all, Amazon, when we look into their, I'm not a pocket watcher when it comes to the streets, but when it comes to these tech companies, I be all in them pockets. I be looking, right? And so Amazon made over $35 billion in profit in the first half of 2025. All right. Now, the thing is, though, it's spending $120 billion on AI while it's letting go tens of thousands of people. And a lot of those people, they help run the business today, like how it's ran today. So eventually, here's why Amazon says that it's doing this, though. So there's two different versions of the story, so to speak. So you got number one, their public, like official, like, hey, this went through compliance, this went through the lawyers, all of this. It says, Amazon says the goal is to make the company leaner and less bureaucratic. And that was Senior Vice President Beth Giletti said, AI is the most transformative technology since the internet, and the company needs to move faster to compete. Now, that was the official explanation. Version number two, this came from CEO Andy Jassy, and he said on an earnings call. That's why sometimes it's important just to hop on or just see the people who talk about the highlights of the earnings call. But he said it isn't directly about AI replacing jobs, at least not yet. At least not yet. He said instead, he's saying that Amazon grew way too fast. On a corporate side, it tripled between 2017 and 2022. And we know a lot of those probably came around 2020 and after the panty when everybody was overhiring like a mug. But it's possible that that's when a lot of it came. But as they did that, they became slow and top heavy. And so his goal is to bring back Amazon's startup energy with fewer managers and faster decisions. And we know when you got a lot of middle management, all that means is it's a lot of meetings about meetings to come up with more meetings, and nothing's getting done. So he's seeing it from that side. Now, real quick, the real AI paradox here that we're seeing is that even though Amazon is saying that AI isn't the reason for the layoffs right now, CEO Jassy he admitted it, that AI will eventually mean fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done today. So you got three layers basically, y'all. Number one, before it pays off for them, Amazon is laying off people before AI has proven that it can replace them. But they try it. You go to some of them factories, it's a lot of robots in that thing. It's a lot of automations going on. All right. And they're betting on productivity gains that don't fully exist yet. So they have money to be able to do this, right? There are some companies who don't have that time frame to be able to do it. We know Amazon do. Number two, cutting the wrong jobs. Now, most of the cuts, it came from the management side and the corporate side, not the warehouse workers. Now, ironically, those are the same type of jobs that AI tools, you got chatbots, you got analytics systems, all of that, they're best suited to replace. So while warehouse work is still mostly humans because robots, they don't have the fine motor skills to get that done. Plus, we're going into the Black Friday and all these seasons where they're hiring for warehouse workers and people who can come in and get that stuff done. But at the same time, they're cutting on the other side. And then number three, building AI with fewer builders. So Amazon is spending billions of dollars on AI right now, and they're cutting software engineers, the HR team, and AWS staff. So a lot of these have actually, developed and managed the very AI systems that they're getting cut for, allegedly. And so it's like firing your construction crew while you're doubling your budget to build the skyscraper, basically. So, hey, we're going to let y'all go, I know we are still building this skyscraper, and then on the other side, yeah, we doubling down. We're about to put more money into this building and see what we can do here. So at the end of the day, y'all, it's 100. Amazon's not alone. In 2025 alone, right now, over 112 tech workers have lost their jobs across 200 different companies. And so, what we're hearing constantly through all of that is AI is the reason. Now, whether it's true or not, that's what we need to know. Y'all let me know in the comments. What do y'all think about that? Have they been talking in the comments, Joseph? We need to know what's the deal here.
Yeah, we got a couple. We got Tech Coach Ralph says pandemic jobs.
Yeah, man.
And that's a really good point. Like, I think it needs to be studied about how just what the effect of the pandemic jobs were, where people were mass hired for that period of time. And I was one of those people that were hired in that period of time. So I think a lot of us were hired, but some companies did hire quickly. I remember a company that, in my opinion, they hired a lot of people, and it was said that there'll be growth opportunities and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, like after like 7, 8 months, 9 months, they're like, you know what? We renege on that. And then people started to be cut for various reasons. Legal, some of them, probably not. But there were some things that were happening because they needed to trim. And it wasn't like the people were doing a bad job. It wasn't because the people didn't do what they necessarily should do. It was just because there was my opinion, this is me speaking, that there was a greater need for stuff to happen, and they unfortunately bit off more than they could chew.
Yeah.
So financially, they couldn't get it done. So with that whole idea now is this a ripple effect of that? Just trying to get leaner. But a couple of things you said that I want to definitely dive in there, but I want to go to the comment section because people are chatting up in here, so I want to make sure I get everybody here. So that's one comment. We got Tech Coach Ralph that says, all I remember from 2020 to 2023 were videos on 10K boot camps and influencers promoting working 5 jobs at once, aka job stacking. Yes,
100%.
that was. Go ahead, Trey.
No, just 100%. Yeah. You had people hey, I got 3 laptops. You know what I mean? Check this one out. They doing, it was like MTV Cribs, but just for their job stacking, and what they was doing. Hey, this laptop is for this job, and then we got this one. It's on 24/7. And you got this one over here. Yeah, they were going in. I remember that for sure.
Man, what a time to be alive. I'll say that because it is definitely different now.
I can't wait for the documentary, man. I'm gonna be sitting back with the popcorn for that one, just to relive some of that stuff.
Tell my kids, hey, I've been through this.
Yeah, yeah.
Long ago. A couple more comments here. We got Tech Coach Ralph also saying you don't need to pay foundation layers when you are the painting phase of the building. In other words, AWS got it like that. And so they can go ahead and have their people that are building these sort of AI tools remain. Yeah. One of the things that was said here, though, that I thought was very interesting was they're building it, but with fewer builders. And I guess that's what you're trying to say is like, there's other tools that they have that help those software engineers that remain to continue to do what they need to do. Therefore, they don't need to have HR teams as much or other AWS staff. So that's very interesting as well. And also, Big Stage Energy says the timing was rough. The announcement came during Afrotech again. When people are trying to find jobs and people are trying to get into these places, then all of a sudden you hear this news again. It's a little bit disparaging.
Yeah.
And so people are like, man, what do I do? What do I do? And this is my thought, and I'm gonna let you speak as well, Trey. I think a lot of things that we need to consider is maybe not the sexy names. There are companies, like we talked about it a couple episodes ago, regarding that entrepreneur from Israel who created Base 44, built it out, and it was about 6 months, and he had a 8-people team, and he sold it for $80 million using AI. And so we're going to probably see that people grow in that area where they either are joining startups that have this sort of innovative idea that's a part of this AI gold rush, getting in there and riding that ship. That's something that we probably have to look at. It's like, hey, as a collective, are we chasing the big names, the big the big ones. Manga, and the abbreviation changes all the time, so I don't even want to say it anymore. But are you chasing the big names, or are you really looking for the opportunities that are out there? Because there are companies that are hiring. At least they hit me up a lot, and they are these AI companies that are solving specific problems in specific areas, and then all of a sudden, boom, you never know which one's going to hit, but maybe that's what we need to start looking at. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And then you have like the people who, yeah, you see the big names, but that's that's basically what this is talking about. It's like to move up through those big names, bro. It's so many layers. It's so many things all these butts you got to kiss. Like, who wants to do all that? Who wants to do all that when you can go to one of these companies, like you're saying, the startups or smaller, or maybe they're not a startup, but they just have a more agile structure. And man, you can, move through that thing, Euro step through the ranks, and have a good time doing it. Especially if it's a company or a brand or idea that you believe in. Like that's a different type of way to move. But sometimes, especially Black people, you got to have a name brand. So you really only want Meta. You really only want Facebook, Google, Netflix. Like that's all you want. So you can put X blank on your LinkedIn. But for real, if you really want to actually get in or really make moves, I think you're right, Joseph. I think that's the way to do it, because what we're finding out, which is what we're talking about right here with this Amazon story, is that a lot of these companies they're talking about AI, but really it's just the cover up for them trying to downsize and get that stuff done. So,
yeah, let me go to Tech Coach Ralph because he had made a good point. And y'all check out his video he's going to do today about he's going to be talking about a lot of people didn't take the opportunity to grow vertically, right? They went to grow horizontally, right?
Yeah.
Fast money versus long-term growth. And that says a lot right there. One of the biggest things about, at least for me, getting into the tech industry that really kind of encouraged me was equity. Like the ability to come into some of these smaller companies in general, but really the smaller ones that are starting off that might give you a little more equity in the beginning to be a part of it. And then you get vested. And then, what that company becomes, if they get sold or bought out, whatever, like that right there to me is like, that is an investment on your time and effort that you don't necessarily get from sometimes larger companies. Now, get me wrong, because you do get them from some big companies. They'll they'll give you a lot. So don't get me wrong, but don't skimp over the little ones that you could probably get even a greater advantage of joining them when they're younger. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, with some of these companies. There's a lot of comments here. Reese is in the building. What up, Reese? Glad that you stopped by, girl.
What's happening?
Glad you stopped by, Miss Williams. Appreciate you as always. We got Tech Coach Rob that says if one person had 5 jobs, loses all of them, are those 5 layoffs? Those 5 layoffs.
I don't know, actually. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, like
that'd be crazy though.
Yeah,
I'm sure they have to report, and then they do the report, and they're like, "Hey, hold on, how you get the 5?" Yeah, that sounds like an easy way to get a clawback going on. You gonna look up, you made it up the ranks now. You out of that phase. Then you already know this is when it happened. You made it up. You all the way up there now. Maybe you above mid level, and then all your stuff, your statements every month to check 8,000, 10,000, whatever it is. Next thing you know, hey, back in 2022, we saw you got funds from 4, 5 different companies, and we need that money back. So we're gonna take it out of your check, and then next thing you know, you check $2,500 a month. You still got the 3 kids that your baby daddy. So you got the 3 kids. You gotta that's taken up out of your check. Oh man, right back to the same spot. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Uncle Sam will get his.
They're gonna find a way.
They'll
come back they'll come back years later. Just look at Chauncey Billups. Look at Chauncey. That was a head coach. He was a head coach, man.
Yeah, he's on a different time, but
got
they
him
on the same time.
Got him.
Well, listen, and Techo Drop says what confuses me is paying people hating these big companies, but go crazy when they get smaller. And that's a good. And the question I have with that is, and I definitely hear your point. Is it because of of them being affected, like we talked about earlier? Is it because when these big companies catch a sneeze, that everybody else catches a cold? Is that the reason why? Who knows? Like for example, we talked about a little bit last week the AWS outage. That was a good example of achoo. Everybody's like, I'm down for a week. You know what I mean? So maybe that's the reason why people get upset, or because of that ripple effect. But this is what the conversation is all about. Have us having a conversation, talk about it.
Man, a lot of people hate it when it doesn't matter if it's a company, it doesn't matter if it's an individual. They do not like it once you make it, once you made it. So they be behind them when they're the startup and when they trying to get to it, scrappy, all that. Yeah, yeah. Then once they make the big dollars, hey man, I deserve some of that. Hey man, they ain't giving us none. Hey man, they forgot about their people. And yeah, they begin now they're the enemy. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something to definitely think about. I'm really looking forward to that pandemic documentary about this, because this is definitely going to be very interesting. It's going to be in the textbooks for the kids.
Yeah,
So they or definitely study in college by those that study economics, because it definitely has a lot to do with it. It's very interesting. So they can say at the party, I work at Amazon. Yeah,
that's
hey,
it.
listen, yeah. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, I worked at Amazon.
yeah.
Corporate.
Well, one thing I wanted to kind of touch on too, that you were talking about here, that I thought was very interesting, was in regards to some of the reasons why these layoffs are also happening. Besides just the AI and what they're using, there's slower global growth, apparently according to our research, and then the trade uncertainty, which I think may be resolved soon. I think there was like a little bit of a peace between China and the U.S., which is a big deal regarding trade, and then also pressure from investors to cut costs. Now, that's the biggest thing about AI, is that everybody's like, AI equals less people, but at what cost? At the cost of customers actually having a good experience. You know what I mean? So I think a measured approach is always the best approach. Use both while you're trying to figure out like what we need, what we don't need. Because one of the things that we kind of talked about in our research as well, they were cutting the wrong. They may be cutting the wrong jobs, because more of the corporate and management roles are not warehouse worker roles, like what you mentioned about robotics. So, and I'm saying that they should have cut the people in the warehouse, but what I'm saying is that it just would have made a little more sense, since the AI tools that they could have used for that particular area would have probably been easier to implement and do things there. But then, you know, it's just one of those things, right?
It sounds like it would have been right, but at the same time, we don't know what their 10-year like plans and goals are. Like a lot of times we're thinking right now, we're thinking, oh, 3 months, six, man, these people, they have long list of down the line.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that we have to be able to peek inside is their earnings calls and stuff like that, where we can kind of see a little bit further than what we think in the next 2 months, 3 months. But they're looking way down the line. So who knows why they did it this way, right? It's like, oh, we'll take the hit over here so that while these, this stuff is getting prepared over here, we'll still be good. Because truth be told, Amazon is playing a totally different game anyway, right? We know they take a crazy loss on Amazon, what we mess with every day, right? Amazon, the platform where we can e-commerce and buy our stuff, where AWS is making goo gobs of money, and then they're writing off the losses from this side. So it's a whole different game that they're playing anyway. So who knows?
Yeah, that's a good point. Operation Takeover has some things to share as well. He said it's like being a lottery winner when you poor or down. Nobody cares. Family members don't like you, but when you win, yes, when you're poor or down, but when you win, everybody's your favorite cousin and wants a piece of the pie. Legally, some lawyers actually tell you that if you ever win the lottery, don't tell anyone except your significant other, like your wife, like some, like, and maybe depending on the relationship you have with that significant other, maybe to discretionary. Yeah, I just got another job. But
No,
but that for
oh,
that very same reason, because everybody will come out of the woodworks. Even they even said not even your children, which I thought was very interesting. This lawyer, when he talked about that
oh yeah,
recently,
that lawyer ruthless, boy.
he's like, listen, just save it in a trust for them when the time is right, and then let it like disperse to them at the time right, but don't let them know now because of X, Y, and Z. I thought it
Yeah,
was very interesting, but the same concept is true, like with that. So yeah, I totally agree.
yeah. No, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. You never know, bro. Like people change, man.
Hmm.
People will change up on you, and they say it's you, and you didn't change. They did.
Yeah,
I mean, you think I don't know. When you talk about the lottery, then yeah, that's luck. But I mean, they'll change up on you when you trying to do what the people who come to this show, what we're all looking to do, and you have people who aren't looking to do that same thing, but they want that piece of that pie.
yeah,
They'll change up on you, and you like, man, I didn't change. I'm the same person.
yeah. I'm just
I
putting
mean,
my energy over here.
a little bit, right? I did change. I stopped hanging out with y'all every day, right? Because so I could go and try and do something. You think I mean, yes, I did change a little bit. I didn't do this different stuff to stay the same. I will say that. But at the same time, yeah, it's really them. They'll switch up on you, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, and to just kind of piggyback on that real quickly, and then I'm gonna go to Tech Coach Ralph's uh, part. By the way, y'all, if this is all we do today, and besides this and secure the badge, then that's all we do today because
Yep.
this is going good. And I want to make sure we don't cheapen the experience. So what I was gonna say about this right here in regards to just changing up on people, the when you do something that's unique, you're not just working on that task, that project, it's working on you at the same time. It's forming your character, it's teaching you resilience. If we just to kind of go off a little bit, if you think about the times, the hardships and the hard times that you had, I was thinking about this walking home yesterday. I was like, man, I had some hard times at this particular time of my life. But it taught me how to, and now I'm thinking, putting all together, but it taught me how to be stronger and to deal with certain circumstances and situations now. And so going through that and actually doing things differently is going to make you somebody that you're like, imagine like Michael Jordan or Kobe, like people that they did those 10,000 shots or whatever. They have no patience for somebody that's like, oh man, I just did 100 and I feel tired. Like, what are you talking about? I tore my tendon and I'm still out here because I like this is something that is formed in you when you put the work in that is different to when you're just watching from the sideline. And I think that definitely is something that we could just kind of go along with what's said here. Uh, well, I skipped them for a reason. I mean, but
Yeah.
by the way, he does put in work. It's just different. He does different work.
Yeah, Tech Coach Rock. He did skip him, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, listen, and I don't have no issues with the man, but there was something different with certain cats. Even like a Isaiah Thomas, right? Or other people that I mean, I'm not one of those old heads like, oh, nobody else is doing it. But like even some of those folks that you could tell, Jalen Brunson, for example, like you could tell he put in the work growing up. And so I could see if he has an issue with someone in his team not putting in the work, he's gonna be like, listen, bro, I no excuse. I don't care. Do the work, and the work will change you. The work, if you change, it's because the work changed you, and it made you a different person, a better person in some regards.
Yeah. The work is working on you.
The work is working on you. Let me go to the rest of the comments because I'm gonna jump down here. He skipped LBJ. Well, listen, LBJ did different work, and what I would say is he was different, not in the sense that he didn't work hard. Obviously, he did. This guy's amazing. It's just that the mentality, the work they did the work that they did that really kind of changed their mindset in a lot of different ways, did not allow for a lot of people to be around them that wasn't working the same way. I think LBJ is like, hey, let's all get along, and if we don't do it, I'm cool because I know the work I put in, and I'm good. but they were not very
Yeah,
good. If you're not
yeah,
familiar.
LBJ is definitely, yeah, that was crazy, Tech Coach Rob. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, now he don't went to Bronson. Oh, now he don't went to Isaiah Thomas. But no. But seriously, yeah,
I was saving him for this moment.
but yeah, I mean, when it comes down to him specifically, you can tell just based on how he talked when he was even coming up. Like I watched a little mini doc, like I think that was like 3 weeks ago or something, where it was him at 18 when he had first got into the league, and I don't remember the company that was doing it on him, but they basically spent the day or week with him or whatever. So they went to the Nike, it was his first,
Was that ESPN?
time at the Nike spot and all this stuff. But anyway, you can tell just these little blips throughout time. He's always talking about the people around him, like, and wanting, he longed for that. So for him, like he probably do be like chewing out the teammates at some point in time. But for the most part, he's a team like, I want my people. I like my bros. I love being around them.
Yeah.
Versus, Kobe and MJ. I mean, they were monsters, like, and not in a necessarily good way.
Yeah.
When you got somebody who just come to your team like I don't know, Dwight Howard, and you do him like that, is you're gonna get not happy teammates, right? And I mean, some will say, hey, it was necessary to win, and at the end of the day, you got to figure it out if that's okay for you, because it works for some, but then you never know what's going to happen down the line or who you need or all that kind of stuff, and so it's a balance, and I don't think they for sure had any of that balance, but yeah, it is a difference for sure.
Let's say I want to go to the other comments, but this is actually really good right here because you got me thinking. One thing I gotta give LeBron James credit for is going back to you're not changing up on me. He changed, obviously. He's a billions of dollars worth of change, right?
Yeah.
But he kept people that were like-minded around him, and he built a unit. Like these guys are respected in their industries. And I'm not gonna talk about the Chauncey Billups thing, but they're respected in their industries, right?
Why would he put that hoodie on?
Yeah, why did he put that hoodie on? They know. I will not get involved in that. But what I would say is that like the people that he surrounded himself with became, no pun intended, mavericks in their own specific areas. And now he did something that's great. He brought people along with him that they weren't chumps. They were definitely smart and could do it, but he helped provide the resources, connections along the way that they could all eat from that. That is something that I cannot say that MJ and Kobe have done. They more or less were like Lone Rangers, but overall, I can't say from what I know that he's done that for other people.
Yeah. And that's one that I always think about. And then number two, I guess before we move on, whatever, the last thing I'll say, people, you can't overlook the fact of how much he has and what he's still doing. I always like to bring that out because who do you know? Like, you gonna stop working if you make $500,000. You make $500,000 or $1 million, you're done. You gonna try and figure out a way, man. How can I stay on this and not work? This dude is $1 billion, still top 3, top 5 in the league.
Yeah,
every day. They say he come in before practice, then practice start, and he practices. Who do you know? $1 billion, bro. Still playing like that at the top of the game. So that's why I respect him.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact, I know people who will stop for $100K. So that, like, no, definitely not. You understand, like that's not a lot of money. You understand that.
Behind that.
I'm telling you what, man, I'm about to try and squeeze everything out of this. Man. I'm telling you what, people right now trying to figure out, what they're gonna do now, because they was just living on the wick and the snap. So I know it's 100,000. Shoot, but they ain't doing nothing.
Man, I tell you, there's something to be said about that. Even I'll give you another one as well. Like even like Stephen Curry, like he's there too. With all the endorsements he had, Under Armour, everything, he's at that $1 billion spot, and he still is playing at a very high level. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, I mean, of course he had the ankle issues, and sorry to make this an NBA talk right now, but of course he had the ankle issues in the beginning. But the whole idea that he was able to, again, like we talked about earlier, overcome that, get stronger from that, and has literally just been himself. Like, it's just like you don't even like gawk at him anymore. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's him. But it's crazy when you look at and he doesn't have to. He could retire and be like, I did all I needed for the game. I'm gonna spend time with my kids. And everybody be like, oh, but you still got stuff left in the tank. But then again, you're champion here, two MVPs and all this stuff.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You can't let people do that to you. Cause then
Mhm.
like, who was it? Bo Jackson? Who was it that got out early? Not Bo. It was he was a running back or something. But yeah, he left the game at his prime. Left the game at his prime. And so yeah, people, that's what they were saying. But you definitely got to do it for you. When it's time, hey, I'm out. I'm not about to break my back for y'all. And then y'all look up laughing at me when I can't walk straight.
Oh man.
I gave the game to you. I gave everything to you. And to circle it around, that's what people are doing at these companies, right? You're giving them your all. I'm not saying don't give it your all, but what I'm saying is you're doing all of this extra stuff and you can't think that they care about you enough to not cut you.
Yeah.
When you are on the expense side of a P&L, you can't think that they want you around enough to not cut you. You got to know, like, hey, I'm putting in this work, but I got my eye open a little bit. I need to see what the climate is like, right? Because if these people here at Amazon, if they know what was coming on, what was going down the line, they would be getting their LinkedIn together, hitting up people like, hey, man, how you doing? Just wanted to check in on you, see how everything is going. You still at such and such? Hey, listen, I don't know what's going on over here at Amazon, but keep your eyes peeled for me. Let me know if you come across something.
Yeah.
And you did that to about 10 people while still there. Hey, what's going on? Got my Amazon badge. What's up, y'all? Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we got? What we see? We see people busting their butt, going hard in the paint. Amazon painted across their face, got the Amazon tat. Cut.
Listen.
Get out of here. Arriva Dirt, man, we got stakeholders who we need to make happy.
Yeah.
And you looking like from the outside, like, man, I gave y'all everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Antoine Wade from Elevate to the Unknown. He just posted about a video about that, about these corporations ain't loyal. So to what degree we are loyal. So definitely check out his show as well. It's Elevate to the Unknown, Next Gen Heights. If you are not familiar with Antoine Wade. Yeah. I'm gonna go to one more thing here, and then we're gonna go to secure the badge real quick, because I want to make sure we shout them out, and we'll be wrapping up the show very soon. But OTZO said that Steve Harvey did the same thing with his barber in his childhood. I believe it was his barber security. I believe one of the two. He kept going back. I mean, you got to keep the hair consistent. I get it. You got to keep it consistent.
Listen, man.
Yeah, man.
One of the top toupees of all time. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, that's what was said. It was said. From toupee to no hair. But yeah, so Tech Coach Ralph says AI also equals this one I want to talk about real quickly, because I think it's very important. That AI also equals more opportunities for us. I was counting how much I produced in the past 4 months. I feel like I've done more and better in 4 months than in 4 years.
Yeah.
And that is very true.
And this is what they're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what they're saying. They're like, hey, we're seeing what we can do with one engineer and AI. Let's duplicate that, Hey, what up? We got Finestro in the building as well. Glad to see you on here, brother. Glad to see you on here, my producer, man, and tech guy as well. So glad to see you on here, and glad to see that you're doing well, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. And then got a bunch of comments. I just wanted to kind of see here if I'm missing anything from everybody. Seco Trout said on the bright side, going to be marketing to Amazon employees the Resume Flow app to help them out.
Hey,
Might
man,
set up an Amazon layoff promo.
listen,
Listen,
listen.
you never know.
There's always somebody who's going to be able to take advantage of every situation that happens in life.
Yeah. And listen, if there's a way that you could go ahead and just kind of say, you know what, when you get the job, just pay me back. I don't know how you want to do it, yeah, no, I think that there's definitely opportunity to help people.
You
Just
got
go
you
back
do
and
that. You do that. You
yeah,
got to get a deposit, man. I don't know. If I don't know you, I need a deposit.
yeah.
Still got to do business. You mess around. We got you the job. We got you the help. They left you in the dust.
Yeah, that
You
is
need that deposit, and then we're gonna claw it out of you.
that is very, very true. That is very true, y'all. We want to say thank you so much before we go into the next segment real quickly. Just thank you guys for rocking with us on the show. Like promised, we are going to do an announcement later in regards to giving shout outs to people that commented and were able to share their thoughts and opinions. So stay tuned for that. Before we conclude, the Tech Wire brought to you by Secure the Badge, your ultimate guide to upcoming tech events. Explore more at securethebadge.com. And so since y'all are may not be familiar, it's the same partnership that we had before, but with Black Tech Global, but they now merged over to Secure the Badge. So just so you guys to get a preview about what that looks like, here is the website. Let me actually bring this down so you can see it better. And let me hide the comments so you can see it better as well. But yeah, basically right here, you can see what the website is. Now, this is very powerful. Why is it powerful? Because not only is it telling you about what events that are occurring, but they just opened up their community, so that way you can see. Look at all these events here. There's something for you. There's cybersecurity. There's different things about channel vision that's basically happening right now in Arizona. They tell you what's free. They tell you the location. They tell you the price tag. They just really kind of give you opportunities to connect and network. And in this economy, networking is gold. Now, this is what I want to kind of stop right here on. And we're going to probably drop a link for you eventually in the upcoming weeks. But you want to be able to join their community. Why? Because in the community, they are giving out opportunities to go to these events. Some of these events, like the Afrotechs of the world and stuff like that, they're giving you free tickets to that. So imagine you see the price tag there. You know how much Afrotech costs: 600, 700, 800. So basically, for one event that you get an opportunity to go to, this community right here will give you the opportunity to go for free. And that's just for one event. So it pays for itself pretty quickly. Not only do they have that there as well, they're going to have opportunities. I'm going to drop the link here in case everyone wants to check them out for later. But they're going to have opportunities for you to get, if you want to be a speaker and speak at different events. That community is going to give you opportunity to learn more about that and to do that as well as travel hacks and more things that I am not allowed to talk about. You just have to join the community to find out more. But this is a great resource. I'm not going to talk about the events on it today. I'm going to just let you guys go to securethebadge.com. Again, that's securethebadge.com. Let me drop that down so everybody can see it. Secure the Badge. This is the ultimate guide for upcoming tech events that are happening all across the world, not just in the United States. So if you're international, you want to check this out for yourself and check out securethebadge.com. Securethebadge.com. So y'all, thank you so much. This has been a great show. Let me go to any more comments before we do the shout outs real quickly. For Nestro, he says, I'm a middle school tech teacher in the same school system I worked IT. God is funny, but I love it. I'll fill you in later. Definitely love this show. Keep it going, y'all. Appreciate it, my bro. That is good. You're leading the next generation in business and technology. That is exactly where it needs to be.
That's God. That's God. And at the same time, is you partnering with God, you know? Like you did your part. You was in there working IT. And if you wasn't doing your job, if you wasn't working it to the highest of your ability, that job opening would have came open, but they wouldn't have thought about you. True. If you wasn't doing what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I mean, when you partner with him in the right way, man, he's gonna open them doors for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tech Coach Ralph, he said you can use Klarna or Afterpay.
There you go.
I'm gonna get it one way or another.
Oh yeah.
And Tech, he also says, I take accountability for derailing the show. No, bro, that's funny. All good, brother. All good. Ah, man, that's funny. And also, Tech Coach Ralph says, by the way, Trey, Amazon doesn't own or make those bed covers. The company H Sleep does, but they are connected to the AWS
Yeah.
cloud to control them. Which makes me wonder if there's an issue with the cloud, would it not like work for you? Like,
No, it did. No, that's what happened.
oh,
They
I missed the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's what I was saying. They stopped working.
Oh,
So people was getting bad sleep because it wasn't working.
oh, geez. Oh, geez. Yeah. Oh, that's another discussion for another day, but we'll definitely bring that up to you, y'all, later. We didn't talk about what Meta is doing, but we're going to dive into that conversation next week as well as some other things. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for locking in with us. As promised, we are going to give a shout out to everybody that commented on the stream. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to them as well. We got OTTO first in the building. Peace, blessings, family. Follow OTTO, connect with him, and check out what he's got going on, as well as Tech Coach Ralph, because Tech Coach Ralph is definitely, he said it earlier, he's going to have a show talking about the subject matter that we talked about earlier, so definitely lock in with him if you want to keep the conversation rolling. Big Stage Energy, also the ones that powered Secure the Badge and this community. Lock in with them, check them out, and everything they got going on. Go to securethebadge.com. Oreese Williams in the building. Give her some love, show her some likes, subscribe if she's got some stuff for you as well. And then we have Finestro, who has gotten the newly appointed to that business and tech middle school teacher job. He is leading the next generation, pointing them in the right direction. And so we're so glad that you're able to do that as well. Go ahead, if you have not, subscribed to him as well and show some love. We appreciate you, everybody, as well for this. And thank you so much. And thank you. Appreciate you, Big Stage Energy. Appreciate you. Got to give you a call right afterwards so we can talk if you're up to it. But yeah, until next time, family, like we always say, you are listening and you're tuning in to Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world. See y'all next week.
Yes,
Baby.
peace. And elbow grease.